As far as North Korea is concerned, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't like to talk about what I have planned, but I have some pretty severe things that we're thinking about. It's a shame that they're behaving this way, but they are behaving in a very, very dangerous manner, and something will have to be done about it.
President Trump addressing the showdown looming with North Korea over its latest missile test during a speech in Poland today. So what exactly can be done? To my panel, Ned Ryan is back along with Jessie Jane Duff. And Jessie Jane, everyone says, hey, get China to do more, bring in Russia, diplomacy. In the meantime, these guys are getting better and more proficient with each missile launch. And I don't know how much time we have, but the clock is ticking quickly.
It absolutely is. And Secretary Mattis made it very clear that this would be the worst kind of fighting people have ever seen in their lifetimes if we were to try to do a preemptive attack. A preemptive attack on North Korea could very easily not resolve anything. Much of their arsenal is hidden in caves, mountains, and is mobile and moving throughout. They also have thousands of arsenal on the border of South Korea. And mind you, Seoul is about 36 miles away. So even though we could strategically take out some of their arsenal within the border, we've had no historic example of taking out nuclear weapons. The closest we've ever come to attacking North Korea was in 1994 when we were looking at taking out maybe their nuclear operating plant. And this is before they even had nuclear weapons. It's very critical and serious.
Ned, a lot of attention this week from President Trump's tweet regarding the fact that the first quarter trade between China and North Korea went through the roof. Now, they did lower coal by 50%, but they traded everything else, and a lot of money changing hands. Right. How much pressure do we risk a massive trade war to avoid a massive blood war?
You know, it's interesting that the vice chairman of the finance of China said we don't want to see sanctions on Chinese financial institutions. So I think that does have to be explored. It went up 40%. Trade between China and North Korea 40% almost in the first quarter. I think we need to start looking at sanctions on Chinese businesses and Chinese financial institutions to put real pressure on them. And I do think that we would much rather have, if it had to come one or the other, we'd much rather have a trade war than a nuclear attack by North Korea. The other thing, though, that I will say, and I think this needs to be very clear, this whole situation with North Korea is the culmination of the failure of the previous three administrations. And now Donald Trump is going to have to solve it. I think the first thing that they've got to think about, too, and I think the Pentagon and the White House probably exploring this, anything that's launched from North Korea, anything that's launched in the future is shot down immediately as the next step in this. And then let's see what happens. Put sanctions on and then shoot anything that is launched from North Korea. Well, here's the thing with
those other administrations. They did two things. With Kim Jong-un's father and his grandfather, the rest of the world succumbed to blackmail, essentially. Right. So they made an economic payment, and then they signed these deals with them. Each deal was broken. So even if we were to write them some sort of a check and say, okay, don't ever do it again, they will do it again.
No, exactly. And I think the point has come to we have tried all of these things in the previous three administrations of saying, hey, we are going to give you, food, financial assistance, and of course they were running some of that money into the nuclear program. I think it's now time to say enough is enough. Next time you launch anything, we shoot it down. China, we have tried to have a serious conversation with you. Trade went up 40%. We will strongly consider economic sanctions against your financial institutions and other businesses.
Jessie Jane, we saw President Trump shock Syria with a salvo of weapons, missiles rather, and since then, subsequent action, when they got out of line, we saw the Moab shock al-Qaeda and other bad actors. So we could actually see something from President Trump, because today he used words like severe, and he sort of laid out the groundwork that maybe the next move is going to shock everyone.
We have aircraft carriers off of the coast. We're very well positioned. We've had bombers flying over South Korea. We've been making very strong statements to North Korea that we're not going to put up or tolerate their nonsense. At the same time, American people have underestimated this for a long time. Every time I've been on your show, somebody will inadvertently tweet to me, oh, it's no big deal. Why are we getting worried? Right. They have the fourth largest army in the world, and they have no value of life.
Let's leave it there. Great points. Really appreciate it. And at home, of course, always appreciate when you watch. And, of course, Lou Dobbs is next, so keep it right here on Fox Business.